What's your biggest air travel pet peeve?
You're in the middle of a movie and it's getting to that one bit and it's like, hey guys, just want to say thank you for flying. You're like, you can't override that feature, which is fair enough.
Stay in your seats! Get down! No! Down!
Watching like the first episode and into the second episode, like my heart was actually racing. Like I felt like I was on the plane with you guys. Like
that's good. That was the intention.
As you got this script, what really captured your attention from a narrative perspective, and then what really captured your attention from an emotional perspective?
I was just interested in how we put the audience in that what would you do moment. What would you do yourself situation by breaking down the sort of story into the actual hours of this flight and putting you in real time, peeling back the logic of what you as an audience, if you were Sam, was to do. I think that was really what was attractive. But the writing was really very cleverly jigsawed, modularized together so that the audience felt like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, should he do that? No, maybe. And that was what was really attractive to me as a narrative sort of play. From an emotional perspective, I was keen to play someone that was not afraid to be vulnerable. This is a man who is trying to get home to his family. And this situation that he finds himself in has raised his anxiety to 11. And he's just like, well, what am I supposed to do now? And he does. He just applies himself. And I thought emotionally that was less of a sort of action hero type guy, big brawn guy. No, this is a guy that's like, you know what, I'm just going to be smart and try and figure this out. And these people don't seem like they know what they're doing, so I reckon I can get in there.
How do you approach the character work with this story, because it's told in real time versus maybe some of the other projects you're on where maybe the narrative jumps around a bit?
Part of the advantage of being part of the executive team and being in those very early story meetings and just understanding what the building blocks were is that I came to work prepped, you know what I'm saying? And then I could allow it to happen to me, Idris. I could just be like, right, so what am I shooting today? Okay, and just sit and be in there. It took us 6 months to make, but it's somewhere within the journey of this 7-hour flight. It was about knowing where I was, what my emotional state was, and the logic of what I'm saying next. And that was how you sort of prepped for that sort of thing.
So you signed on with your deal with Apple. What were you looking for in both a creative and a business partner?
I'm always interested in who wants to tell the best story in the best way. I really loved Apple's approach. Just wanted to nurture an audience towards them as opposed to just force feed and, you know, sort of razzle dazzle. That junction of my career, I was really interested in working with Apple and how they're building out their imprint and how I'm building out my imprint as a producer. Yeah, felt like a symmetry.
What would you tell your younger self now that you have all this knowledge of how kind of the business of Hollywood works?
I would certainly say try and keep connections with people. Be a jack of all trades. Don't just stick at acting, because one day you might want to direct, you might want to be a cameraman, you might want to jump around a little bit. Just be observant. And I would say enjoy it, man.
What do you think fans are gonna kind of appreciate the most about your performance here? On the one side of Sam, like this emotional guy going through a lot of emotional stuff right now in his personal life, but then you have this cool, calm, collected negotiator on the other side. Can you tell me a little bit about like kind of playing those two sides of it?
It's a balanced performance. On one hand, there's a man, like you say, he's calm, he's contained, he's trying to pull it together. On the other side, he's raging with emotion. You know, on the inside, adrenaline going, you know, fight or flight, no pun, but he's, you know, on different ends of the spectrum. He's desperate to get home, and he's not afraid to tell you that. It's a tweak on the sort of action hero type that I've played in some of my stuff before. This is a bit more of a sort of vulnerable character who's just going, I'll fight you. I'm not letting you take us down. Do you know what I mean? It's a slightly different approach.
What's your biggest air travel pet peeve?
You're in the middle of a movie and it's getting to that one bit and it's like, hey guys, just want to say thank you for flying. You're like, you can't override that feature, which is fair enough.
Does that hurt even more when you're peeking over and they're watching one of your movies and that happens?
Do you know what? That happens. It's quite embarrassing. But oftentimes I don't get recognized.
Don't you have that the instinct you want to...
I've done it once. Yeah. I'll be like, yo, good movie. And the guy's gone, yeah. Oh! No! And then he's
This is incredible. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it. The show's fantastic, and looking forward to the premiere tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Den of Geek. It's either us or them. And I can tell you, it's not going to be us.